We had over 1,000 homestays that we had personally verified, photographed, content written by my team. They discover these homestays on our website but directly reach out to the homeowner and cut us out. Hence, we had millions of views on our website but pretty much zero business. I think there were three things that we were wanting to control. I think the fundamental thing that we want to control was the experience, the entire calendar, and the pricing. It makes far more sense to be in the luxury side and the premium side because the Indian customer is premiumizing.
How different is it from OYO? I know OYO is for hotels,
Yeah.
but from a quality control perspective, from a pricing perspective, is the model same?
The growth that this year we are aspiring for from repeat itself is 50%. Our tagline, for example, it says where families bond. We've consciously stayed away from the party crowd. We've consciously stayed away from the bachelor's parties and all of this. This makes a lot of money. As they say, top line is vanity. Your profits are sanity. But cash is reality. Honestly, if every muscle, every cell of your body is not committed to this, don't do it.
How do you maintain this consistent luxury? And I'm just trying to understand, every homeowner is different.
You don't need to step out of this country. I think the rest of the world has to come here and see what we have to offer. Everybody is creating their own space. I wish to own the space of family togetherness.
But in this business, do you get fly-by-night operators?
Oh man.
What's your moat then? For years, a great holiday in India meant a hotel, a lobby, a buffet, a room that looks same in every city. That's quietly changing. More and more families now want a whole home to themselves. Privacy, a home-cooked meal, space to just be. Private villas are becoming the new luxury. And few people saw it coming earlier than my guest today, a former cybersecurity partner who walked away from the corporate world all at 40 with no plan B, to build a business of over 400 luxury homes without owning a single one. So Deven, welcome to Beyond Titles. Thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you very much. Pleasure being here.
Absolutely. So, I want to start with something. What problem you saw because you were working in EY for so long that made you get into the luxury villa segment?
Okay. So honestly, we pivoted to this. We didn't start like a luxury player. We wanted to honestly be an aggregator of all the homestays in India. So when we started out in 2015, we had over 1,000 homestays that we had personally verified, photographed, content written by my team. And the problem that we were trying to solve was try and organize this completely unorganized market across India. And that's what we were trying to solve. But what we realized very quickly is that, India being India, disintermediation happens faster than you think, which means they discover these homestays on our website, but directly reach out to the homeowner and cut us out. And hence, we had millions of views on our website, but pretty much zero business. And that's why we were about to shut down. And I recall this Parsi gentleman had called me. It was pouring. And he said, you know what? There's a global model called One Fine Stay. You might want to look what they're doing. Maybe, something similar. It's, of course, very different business, different economy, whatever. But look at something similar in India and see what you can do about it. So Tejas, my wife, she went to the place and she called me from there and said, even if I have to be a caretaker here, it was an 1885 built colonial bungalow in Mathiran, in a place where there is no motorable road. Only you can approach by hand-pulled rickshaws or horses or just, walking. And she said, even if I have to be a caretaker here, I would like to, take this up as a project. And before we realized, it just, went on and we just kept adding homes. And that's why 2016, I was still part of EY and I said, okay, let's just move on.
But what was so different in the model?
So I think there were three things that we were wanting to control. I think the fundamental thing that we want to control was the experience, the entire calendar, and the pricing. So when you have control over these three things in hospitality, you're pretty much in an unorganized space. You've brought some structure and order in this. And then, of course, over the course of years, we started realizing that it makes far more sense to be in the luxury side and the premium side, because the Indian customer is premiumizing. Right? There's a classic K curve. The demand at the lower end and the top end is exploding. If you're in the middle, you kind of languish. And we took a conscious call that there are enough and more players out there in budget, but there are very few players who are actually moving up the value curve and getting into premium and luxury. And because of who we were, who Tejas is and who I am, we thought, I think that plays to our audience and our circles that we are in, and let's build a product for our ourselves and our friends and community, and let's see where it heads. Little did we realize that the network effect would be so powerful that here we are.
So how different is it from Oyo? I know Oyo is for hotels,
Yeah.
but from a quality control perspective, from a pricing perspective, is the model same or similar? What they do for hotels, you're doing for villas?
I'm not too sure, because they've pivoted many
Too
times.
many times.
Yeah. So I'm not too sure what their present business model is, but I can tell you who we are. And
Correct.
so if you're a homeowner and you own this gorgeous estate, by the lake or by the river and facing the mountains, and you've been using it for a while, and as a family home, as a leisure home, your own private villa. But after a point, you kind of say, I barely go there, a few times a year. The asset is, it's a prized asset for me, but it's kind of, not being used. So would you like to, as Devin, take it over, professionally manage it and make some money out of it? And in that process, if there's surplus, then reinvest in the home. That's pretty much my model. So the problem that we are solving more for the homeowners than for the guests. So these are assets, prized assets, which were literally idle elephants, white elephants, which we are monetizing. But what has happened in this process is that people have realized, because of this network effect, right, that good business brings good supply and good supply brings good business. Because of this network effect, there is both-sided network effect. What is happening is that now HNIs who are coming into money, say, you're probably 40 years old, right, around somewhere in that range. A lot of people, when they come into 40s, they want to go back to their childhood dreams of owning a private estate or a bungalow. It's a huge tick mark in our bucket list. We want to own these assets. A lot of money is being invested in building out these villas, and they know that this has to be done with monetization in mind. So they're very practical about this. So they involve us from day zero.
While building it?
Even before, before sometimes
planning.
acquiring the land. It's a idea in their minds, and they say, and they know us, and they say they're sometimes our guests, and that land is extremely seductive. You stand on a parcel of land and it seduces. I kid you not. That homing instinct that every human has,
Especially in India.
is very real, right? And you want something. Everybody wants to have a mango orchard or a horse ranch or some tennis court, by the villa, or a private swimming pool. Everybody has aspirations. And I come in as, somebody who says, while you're doing all of that, your practical side of your brain, this is the irrational side of your brain, right? The practical side of the brain is, will the house be maintained? Will the house as an asset class keep continuously keep improving? Will it earn enough money so that I justify this to myself, my rational brain? I take care of that.
But are these HNIs and rich people, a thought coming to mind, are they comfortable with giving that villa? See, if I make a villa which is expensive, nicely made, I'll be a bit uncomfortable, right? Giving my villa to someone else, kuch kharab ho jaye, kuch ye ho jaye. Are they comfortable from that aspect?
So I have realized that I think increasingly people have become very practical about it. What they're concerned about is, are we as an operator, as a player, bringing in the right guests? If that central promise is being met by me to my homeowners, then they're good.
But how do you manage that?
So I think it's a mix. Firstly, I think the positioning that we've taken. We have not taken the positioning of a high occupancy kind of a company, right? I mean, investors may not like this, but that's not my goal. My goal is what's the pricing that I'm getting, who is the clientele that we are actually targeting. Our focus is on repeat clientele, people who have actually stayed with us again and discovered us and loved us. We love to. So the growth that this year we're aspiring for from repeat itself is 50%. Right. So that's the loyal customer base that our tagline, for example, it says where families bond. We've consciously stayed away from the party crowd. We've consciously stayed away from the bachelor's parties and, all of this. This makes a lot of money. But I would rather leave it to the fly-by-night operators, who are the hit or miss villas. And guests also know कि भाई अगर saffron stays जाना है, तो you have to pay a security deposit. Right? Which is, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is a deposit. You can say this is friction in the booking process. You can say this is friction in the stay
But you
experience.
maintain the
But this allows me to keep the right audiences in and weed out the, there's self-selection that happens. Or people who don't want to, kind of treat it like a family home or treat it with respect, they self-select themselves out. And people who have that respect towards somebody's property automatically opt in. And that's where our tagline has helped us for the last 10 years. So we're the only hospitality player which is actually focused exclusively on families, multi-generational family stays, and the modern definition of family, which is including friends as well. Yeah. So blood is, not necessarily as thick as.
But when you spend so many years in a consulting domain,
Yeah.
right, and moving into an entrepreneurial
Yes.
domain, what part of your identity was the hardest to leave? You're in a very different environment.
Yeah.
You may have your own ego. You may have different things, right? So what part of that, and entrepreneurship really tests that out. So what part was the toughest to leave?
I think you hit the nail on the head, right? I mean, the ego part, right? You're a senior partner, you're heading cybersecurity. You built the cybersecurity practice from scratch. Pretty much all the partners in the ecosystem today in the country have either worked with you or been mentored by you. So I think the biggest thing that I had to let go was the larger than life image about myself that I had created in my own brain about who I am. And I think in a B2C customer or on a ecosystem or a D2C ecosystem, I think the first thing you have to lose is who you are. Concept of ego. You just have to let that go, right? Because at the end of the day, the customer is a customer. There is no point winning an argument against the customer because the customer is right. And if you win the argument against the customer, there is no customer left.
Yeah, you've lost the customer.
You've lost the customer.
You may win the argument, but you lose the customer.
There's just no point. And as a consultant, you are taught you need to have a point of view. The people will respect you only if you have a point of view. Well, I agree. I mean, here as well, we have our own point of view, but reality has set in. A lot more humility and a lot more groundedness is required. Especially when consulting is high gross margin business, right? I mean, if you're not doing anything less than 60% gross margin,
used to be there. Used to be, not
used
anymore. Not anymore.
Yeah, I think with high cost of salaries, and I think there's too much pressure. I understand, but gross margin used to be the holy grail, right? Here we know how to eke out the final EBITDA from very thin, margins, gross margins. So this is not a high margin business. It may be looking very sexy from outside, but this is a normal margin business. But we have learned the art of, actually making margins out of it, EBITDAs out of it. As they say, top line is vanity, right? Your profits are sanity, but cash is reality, right? And I think that's what I've understood in the last so many business. Cash hai to dhanda hai.
So did you, in the beginning, obviously it was not great for you to start any startup. I mean, you pivoted, but
Yeah.
did you ever question the moving from EY? Because you were there for so
I
many
question
years.
it every day.
Every day, okay.
Yeah. On the first of the month, the fat salary, that SMS that you get, right? That is like opium. वो
एकदम से आना बंद हो गया.
हाँ,
But
and I used to feel कि यार EY में क्या कर रहा हूँ मैं, I'm creating wealth for somebody else.
हर consultant ही वही सोचता है.
हाँ यार, let me build my own business and stress free रहेगा, 9 to 5, people will do all the work. ऐसे कुछ
भी नहीं है.
Yeah, so you have traded a 24/7, 365 days stress versus a, slightly
And more so because you tried to start a business in 2000s as well,
Oh yeah, wow. Okay,
right?
yes.
So and it did not go
Yeah,
well.
I left KPMG in 2000, and for a 2-month period, I experimented. I did a lot. I wanted to start my own shadi and Naukri type of a portal.
Acha.
Yeah, identical, something similar. And I think they were also coming up at the same time. Tried really hard, but three things I didn't have. I didn't have the money.
Hmm.
Okay, I didn't have the technical skills, or that time if you're not a coder, if you're not a right developer, you
Who's the one
pretty
who
much
it
can't
was
build.
like
You're
it?
dependent on somebody else. And the third thing is I didn't have the courage to see it through. ये तीन चीज नहीं था. So I said, next time when I attempt to do this, I have to solve these for these three. Right. So fundamentally, I realized that when even as a hacker, right? I mean, as a cybersecurity expert, I know how to break things. I never knew how to build things. So for the first realization that happened was when we started our venture. Our tech teams bailed out on us at least 2-3 times, which means they just abandoned the project, left. Yeah, and we were left with nothing. So we wasted 1.5, 2 years in just going around the tech nonsense. So finally, I told my wife, they just said, look, there's only one last chance that I'm going to take. This is nothing to do with money and all. I said, I'll learn how to code myself.
Oh, you went on.
I picked up Orally Publications ka book and started from scratch, and then I realized how difficult it is to build. And my respect for developers went through the roof. कि भाई ये अलग चीज है. Today I think coding is Claude and
चाहिए ही नहीं.
yeah, ही नहीं भाई.
How world changes.
हाँ, yeah, and but
Today, if you want to build a startup, you don't need to worry
it's
about that part.
so easy. I mean, I think some of the things that we've kind of done, and I was practically the CPTO of the company for almost 6-7 years till now there's a professional who kind of manages. So, and today, we jokingly say that we ship out apps faster than my teams can download them. Yeah. So हर चीज के लिए ऐप, हर स्टाफ के लिए ऐप, इसके लिए ऐप. So it's damn funny, but at that point of time to actually sit and code. So the three things I said, so tech skills to ho gaya, and I built out a whole safety net. As a partner, 8 years, you and both of us, we curtailed our lifestyle from 2010 to 2016. 6 years we had curtailed our lifestyle to build out the reserves, just wisely invested in the right things, right places, right stocks, and built out our own safety net till such time as we can, say that, okay, agla 3-4 saal without a salary, can we sustain ourselves and our children and our lifestyle and all of that?
मेरे इसके ऊपर question था.
And this went on for 7 years. For 7 years, we had no income.
Salary. Yeah, I have a question and I'll get it out here.
Yeah.
How does the maths work? My question was.
The
And
math,
the reason was.
the math never maths, man.
No, because my question is new young age
Yeah.
entrepreneurs wanting to get into entrepreneurship, thinking the first day will become billionaire. I mean, obviously, what YouTube says. How does the maths work when for 7 years you're not taking salary?
Yeah.
Right? How do you survive?
So, there are two options that you have. Either you start very early when your parents have still not retired, or you have a business of your own and you kind of pivot and you do whatever you want. But you have a golden window between 23 to 28, in which you can attempt to do what you wish to do, particularly if your parents are working, because they have still not retired, right? I didn't have that luxury because my gap between me and my parents was large, and same with Tejas, right? Both of us had, and with typical middle class parents, never the intellectual varieties, who never really went to do any business of their own, and it discouraged actively saying ये सब नहीं करना है करके. तो वो तो हमारे केस में नहीं था. Or you need to have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. You have come from a tier 2 city and you have pretty much nothing to lose. Then you can still be a.
But you had plan B?
I had zero. In fact, that's a brilliant question. When we started our business, my boss asked me this question. Syrian Catholic Terry Thomas. He said, "Devin, so do you have a plan B?" I said, "No, I don't have a plan B." He says, "Good, then do it."
But I have a different question on this.
Yeah.
It's very good to say now that you've done it well. मैं ये generally सुनता हूँ from people who have done it well, right? That you should never have plan B, like you said, you have not. But let's flip the question, and a young person comes to you and says, I want to start this. Would you still say same? Don't have plan B?
So honestly, if every muscle, every cell and of your body is not committed to this, don't do it. Whatever purpose, whatever thing that you've chosen, even if you have an iota of doubt in your mind, or you're de-risking yourself by doing something else, don't do it. You want to invest that money in SIPs and, please go ahead and do it, because that's passive income. That is definitely a plan B that you should have. Like safety net, when I said safety net, we had created those reserves, and those reserves were making money for themselves, right? Because that's how we'd invested smartly. That was my plan B.
Not a
Or-
business. Not a thing ki you start Saffron Stays and let's say it doesn't work out, it'll come back to an EY or a Big Four.
See, that option always exists.
Always
वो कहाँ जाने वाला है? अभी भी हो सकता है,
Hmm.
right? And by courtesy of the goodwill that we had created, both of us, she's a banker, chartered accountant, corporate career for, as a banker in, especially in stressed assets and some of the high pressure areas. She had built out a niche for herself. So both of us had our respective plan Bs at the back of our minds. But did we really ever, even for a minute, think of exercising? No, honestly, no. We were all in. Our kids were all in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, from day zero, we kind of curtailed their lifestyle. I remember, I once got a golf set. My son whispered he was, I think, 11. He was whispered in Tejas's ears, aren't we poor? I said, बजाओ ये क्या? Poor बोल रहा है. Yeah, but yeah.
You position Saffron Stays more as luxury plus AI.
Yeah.
What's the AI thing in a hospitality business?
I-
Is it theory or
honestly,
there is some practical element to it?
So, 3-4 years ago, we started the AI journey when there was nothing, right? And we went all in. Today, pretty much all the innards of a business are powered by some sort of a AI or tech play, right? Everything is powered by tech. But over the course of the last 2 years, what I've realized is that the business that we are in, which is luxury, is a human first business, right? So AI can be the backend, can be the support, can be the enabler. But the end of the day, the call center, the customer care, the service, end of the day has to be human first. So we are a
you don't want a
human
robot
first.
welcoming your
हाँ
guest.
right. वो AI bot से भी basic questions आप करा सकते हो, and you can still it is capable of handling the most complicated. But customers want to still talk to a human being, whether we like it or not. That's the reality, right? So we've gone the other way around, and we've identified in our business where is there a touch point with the customer. Wherever there is a touch point, we've gone human first. Wherever there is a supporting infrastructure that needs to be in place, we've gone AI and tech first. Simple, ground rule.
But like you said, you pivoted.
Like how I recruit. You may find this very silly, but and I heard this secret from one of the coffee companies, and I met this guy. He was behind the coffee machine, and he was like a barista. And I said, he told me that my boss recruits me or recruited me only because I had a great smile. He said, बाकी सब सिखा देंगे आपको.
अच्छा.
हाँ, बरिस्ता कैसे बनना है हम सिखा देंगे. बट हॉस्पिटैलिटी में आपके पास अगर ग्रेट स्माइल नहीं है तो आप you can't. So हमारा बिजनेस भी वैसे ही है. How much of rocket science is it to make a bed or to keep it's not rocket science. I think that everything else सिखा सकते हैं.
But you have mentioned somewhere, and I read it somewhere, that unlike how hotels treat their guests, right, where they will bow, they'll say, welcome, is everything okay?
Yeah, that's obsequious hospitality.
You work the other way around, where you say, leave the guest.
Concerned neglect.
Right?
Yeah.
So, how is it hospitality then that you are leaving the guest totally?
No, it's not totally. So it's concerned neglect.
Okay.
Where you're very much around. You've made the whole process frictionless and as comfortable for the guests, but you never invade their privacy. I think one of the central promises to the guest for us is privacy. When they are booking the villa and that family has booked out the villa or the couple has booked out their home, I think we respect their privacy like nothing else. We don't believe in obsequious hospitality where, the guy is every, sir, खाना कैसे लगा? Sir, कुछ कर दूं आपके लिए? भाई क्यों? Leave me alone. If I need, I'll call you. Everything is perfect here. So we're there. Okay. We are around. Everything is working perfectly in the back end. But our service is a little, if I can say, abstracted from the guest. It is not lazy hospitality. It actually forces you to do too much work. Because problem arise ही नहीं होना चाहिए ना कि भाई वो सर्विस करने के लिए आ जाए. अगर आपका customer service team बहुत तगड़ा, it's like Toyota for example doesn't have a quality department. Every person on the line is a quality specialist. क्यों quality separate department रहना चाहिए? Testing क्यों करने का? हर चीज is
Perfect you.
perfect ही हो रहा है. एक भी बंदा उनका quality department ही नहीं है उनका. It's a global practice that they've been having for donkey's years. So we also feel that अगर आपके customer service is your call center is inundated with calls, you're doing something wrong. Something is fundamentally wrong. So the last person on ground has to be empowered to do pretty much, and it's a house in Nainital, Nokuchiatal, in some remote lake, and Mulshi and Pavna. वहाँ पे क्या ही आप 50 लोग भेज सकते हो ना? You have to trust the judgment of the caretaker, who's often a local.
So how is the business model working? I have a villa. Let's say I have a built villa. I approach you.
Yeah.
Right. I just want to understand the whole ecosystem. How does it work? Like because you said caretaker वाका है.
हाँ.
आप क्या provide कर रहे हो उनको?
Yeah.
How is the business model working?
So for a homeowner, he or she is heavily invested in the place, in the village. The serpents, the school, temple, everything. I think it's an ecosystem. They are extremely keen that we don't paratroop people from outside.
Especially in these tier 2, tier 3 towns, they don't want any outsider.
Why would you? You're creating local employment. You're, pretty much adopting that place, right? The food that we serve is cooked by the local chefs and the local village women. The ingredients come from the local village. Pretty much it's authentic hospitality of that place. It's just that the environment is a beautiful villa. But the hospitality is of the place. So all you have to treat them, you have to firstly treat them with respect, all of the staff. But pretty much you have to ensure that you have trained them up for modern hospitality standards. Equipment has to be modern. Cleaning chemicals, I think a lot of those stuff that you pretty much expect in a 5-star. You bring that hospitality level
That is
in
done
home.
by you?
Yeah, we bring all of this to the home.
What are you bringing into the
the hospitality standards, the tech piece that powers everything, the training piece, which is a relentless activity, oversight in the entire operations. The homeowner doesn't have to bother. The ensuring that the MEP is taken care of, the pool filters are serviced, the air conditioners are serviced. It's a full laundry
So that's
list.
all yours.
Absolutely. It's done at the PNL is the homeowners. The costs are the homeowners. The payroll is the homeowners. It's all done on behalf of the homeowner, for which we earn a fees.
And you take a percentage.
A fees.
A fees.
Yeah, fees is the fees that we use. We are also almost pseudo consulting. Yeah, it's just that in that process, we are a value added. We also get you business. We also train up your staff. We also oversee the maintenance work. We also oversee the AMCs. All of that. Yeah.
How do you maintain this consistent luxury? And I'm just trying to understand. Every homeowner is different.
Yeah.
Every home is made in a particular way.
Yeah.
How do you maintain that basic?
That is why this is a hard business. It's a tough business. It's not an easy business. बाहर से एकदम simple दिखता है. इसमें क्या है, विला चलाना है. But when you multiply the problems 500 times, because we run 500 villas across the country in remote locations, I think it becomes an extremely complex problem. Plus, you're not just dependent on the infrastructure in the villa. You're also dependent on the vagaries of nature. आज एल नीनियो है, कल एल नीनिया था, लैंडस्लाइड हो रहा है, MSCB स्टेट पावर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी में इश्यूज हो रहे हैं, रोड्स बह रहे हैं. So I think you're managing the whole ecosystem and 50 problems that you're handling. Having said that, now you will think, itna hai to, what is why would you do this business? I think fundamentally the customers love this product. Whoever has once stayed in a villa and experienced this like a family and they don't go back to the traditional mainstream hotels, because they start seeing through the fake luxury that hotels pretend to call as luxury. The chandeliers, the caviar, the chocolates, the Italian marble, the tapestry on the wall suddenly stops, charming them anymore. And they start looking for this authentic hospitality. The fact that you're in nature, the fact that 2 o'clock in the morning you suddenly wake up and you find the entire lake in front of you glistening because the moon has just risen. It is surreal. It's just unbelievable what India has to offer. All you have to do is just step 15 minutes away from city centers. आप शिमला में आपको
अच्छा,
एक
इतना दूर भी नहीं जाना आपने?
कुछ नहीं, वो शिमला आप शिमला के 15-20 मिनट दूर, ऑफ कोर्स ट्रैफिक से निकलने के बाद।
करेक्ट स्पेशली आजकल।
Yeah, and everything is different. You don't need to step out of this country. It's I think the rest of the world has to come here and see what we have to offer. And it's not just the hills, it's everywhere, whether it's our blue flag beaches, whether it's our irrigation projects that have been built by state governments and lying idle because their land around them is just now today gold. And big thank you to the government, because they build out these expressways, and every quarter there's a new expressway being launched, announced, and that just brings distances which are 8 hours away, which were suddenly now 3 hours and 4 hours, which makes them that much more accessible. So yeah, we love our business and we celebrate our flaws.
Like you mentioned, the highways and
Yeah.
these things. So what are the now locations opening up which maybe were still unapproachable?
Yeah.
What are the 2-3 places you think are really opening up?
So our business is a little simple. All I do is I take a city, say Mumbai. Okay. Mumbai has 5 or 6 exit roads that emerge out of Mumbai. Say Mumbai, Delhi, Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Delhi, Mumbai, Nasik, Nagpur, the Samruddhi Highway, Mumbai, Pune Expressway, and the new missing link, Mumbai, Goa, National Highway, and the Mumbai Alibag Coastal Harbour, the sea route. These are 5 routes. All we do is put up 2 concentric circles of 2 hours and 4 hours, and we look for inventory within 2 to 4 hours. That's it.
ये नहीं कि someone has to go 6-7 hours.
नहीं भाई, आप वो मेरा मार्केट ही नहीं है.
वो आपका मार्केट ही नहीं.
मार्केट
Because India में I was about to say ऐसी भी बहुत locations है where you'll have to go 6-7 hours in a car before you reach a location.
वो मेरा मार्केट ही नहीं है. I may have selectively a few here and there, but for me the 2 to 4 hours and max 5 hours is my market, because I think drivable destinations where, say, families can go together, say 4 cars, 5 cars, you're going to have, because you have to coordinate you're booking a 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom, 7-bedroom villa, right? So, you can't just occupy 1 room or 2 rooms. It's uneconomical. You need to have a full, hum saath saath hai types. So, yeah.
But if demand doubles, doesn't it create issues with the supply, the service?
Yeah.
With all, by double, I mean, let's say.
So one thing I've realized is I can never outgrow my category. जो मेरा category growth है ना, so my category is growing at around 20-25%. I have to just add 10 more percentage points to that category growth. And suppose my category is this year growing at 20%, I have to grow at 30%. Category is growing at 30% because there are tailwinds, that are supporting it, then I have to grow at 40%. That's how I benchmark myself. I look at the category and see where that category is going. Am I outgrowing because of my smart businesses and tech and this and that? Will I be able to double overnight? No. I mean, sab fat jayega. Can I throw capital at this and kind of, explode my, I mean, some people are attempting to do it. But this.
So there's competition?
Of course there's competition, yeah. But this is not, वो बोलते हैं ना कि you put a turkey in a oven and amp up the temperature, you're not going to get a faster, you're going to get a burnt out turkey. But if you slow cook that same meat over a certain period of time, you're going to get beautifully caramelized. So sometimes you have to, do it at the pace at which the business requires you to grow. So we have realized that 30 to 45% growth, annual growth, is the sweet spot in which we can continue control over our processes, our technologies, our people, the growth, the salary expectations that people, wage bill inflation that happens. I think that's the sweet spot. If you grow less than that, you're never going to have operating leverage. And if you grow more than 45, things are going to break down in terms of your,
So you've come to a sweet spot.
We've got to a sweet spot where every 2.5 years we double. So that's a 35 to 45%, somewhere in that range.
But was COVID a big kicker in terms of once COVID ended?
Yeah.
There's a huge demand which.
But supply नहीं था तभी.
Supply नहीं था.
Supply नहीं था. अभी supply आ रहा है. COVID basically brought mainstream audiences who never looked at us and got them to taste us as a product. Sampling हुआ COVID में. उसके बाद में nobody looked back.
And second homes भी शुरू हुए तभी.
Second homes भी शुरू unlock हो गए.
बहुत अनलॉक हुए.
बहुत ज़्यादा unlock.
Everyone said ये जो अफोर्ड कर सकता है एक सेकंड होम होना चाहिए.
Correct. But तभी एक तो सप्लाई बहुत कम था और क्वालिटी वाज डॉजी. at that point of time, because I think homes were meant for only personal use. But that retro Wi-Fi भी नहीं था कोई घर में. So to get to a level where today I think expecting the creature comforts that you're used to in a traditional 5-star urban setup, I think that people expect now a pickleball court. People expect people expect a wood-fired pizza oven, and homeowners are also more than willing to do it because वो उनका खुद का passion project था कि मेरे घर पे एक टेनिस कोर्ट चाहिए, मेरे घर पे ये होम थिएटर चाहिए बड़ा वाला, right? And guests are willing to pay for it.
And people come for those 2-3 days.
Yeah.
And they would come to. So I'm just trying to understand, वो वैसी है जो पूरे दिन विला में रहना चाहते हैं?
हाँ. In fact, I like to feel that वो एक बार विला में आगे कोई बाहर ही नहीं निकलता है. पहले when their first query, somebody is new to the villa as a product. अच्छा आजू बाजू में क्या है, करने के लिए क्या है, यहाँ जा
मैं तो वही सोचा था.
हाँ, कुछ जाए क्या. Then once they come into our villa, that's it. Nobody steps out. Nobody. Firstly, it's too hot outside, or it's too inclement weather. You don't. यहाँ पे मस्त, everything is provided. Food is deadly. Lip smacking, home cooked, authentic food. Why would you want to step out? Everything is there. Your family is there. So कभी-कभी attempt मारते हैं, एक trek करके आएंगे. वो सब after a point. I think we are. I think the central promise is people coming together. The central promise is families who. I know your kids are young and you have been able to control their screen time. Mine are older. I have a 21-year-old daughter and a 19-year-old son, and I have no control over their personal lives these days. Yeah, anything.
In today's time to life.
But when we go out and stay and we have a weekend holiday with our dog, with grandparents, I think automatically the environment lends itself to the family bonding. तो हम rate करते हैं अलग ही parameter पे कि भाई, did you create memories? Did the place lend itself to creating memories? Did the place lend itself to, say, multi-generational travel? Okay, सब generations comfortable थे क्या? Senior citizen friendly, dog friendly, वो सब था क्या? Or, was it a distraction free environment? ये हमारा खुद का एक index है हर घर को rate करने के लिए कि ये घर is ideally meant for families, because that's my USP, right? So we've gone down a very different path altogether, and not the usual. जैसे Starbucks करता है, right? Starbucks doesn't say small, large, medium. It says venti,
tall,
some tall, grande or something. पता नहीं क्या.
अभी भी confused हूँ मैं.
अभी भी हाँ. उसको बोलते de-anchoring. आपको de-anchor करना है कस्टमर को, तो आप वो compare नहीं कर पाएगा.
Interesting business thought.
de-anchor करना है आपको. तो ये हम इसको कस्टमर को de-anchor कर रहे हैं कि भाई हम अलग है. आप don't compare me with so there is no categorization of villas कि silver का घर है या gold का घर है, कुछ platinum घर है, नहीं. We evaluate our
नहीं है ना, स्टार नहीं दे रहे मतलब आप.
हाँ, वो स्टार वार रेटिंग, वो then you are falling into the trap of the traditional hotel.
Correct. I was about to say then I'll compare कि
वो होटल 5-star देखो, इसको देखो.
हाँ, अच्छा, okay, interesting.
Comparison ही नहीं है. How can you compare me against? How can you compare that glistening lake in front of you, or snow-capped mountains का crystal clear view in front of you, where you are in a heated pool and looking at that. And there is nobody else judging your family. Your children are roaming around in whatever that they want to wear.
Yeah.
You don't have to ever worry about dressing up and going to the buffet lines and waiting 10 o'clock buffet खत्म हो गया. भाई उठो, कभी भी breakfast मिलेगा. हाँ, breakfast मिलेगा. आपका घर है, आप हमारे मेहमान हो. You're treated like family. You're treated like the caregivers as if you're local.
So you're saying you spend a lot of money in training.
Lot of money in repeated training. I think that training is like वो constantly credo आपका जो है वो उसको repeat ad nauseum repeat करना पड़ता है. आप थक जाओगे फिर भी repeat करना है आपको.
But you mentioned business stuff.
हाँ.
I was reading your profitability is, let's say, 2-3%.
Yeah, right now. Yeah.
Eventually you want to go to 10%.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What's the lever which will take it up to 20%?
I think every year.
10%, sorry.
Yeah. See, that 2-3% profitability is also over the turnover, which so actually not on it's on the GBV, gross business value. So on the net margin, we are today probably at 7-8%, right? But we have to eventually get to 10% on the top line. So our goal is every year add 1.5% to the EBITDA. And that leverage comes from growing at a pace at which your costs are growing at a lower pace. So if you grow at 40%, your costs have to grow at 25%. You just have to do this every year. And we've been doing this for the last 5 years. We were at negative 10%. From negative 10%, we've come to a positive 2%. For the last 5 years, profitability was the goal, and that's how we chased it. And we've put a path saying every year 1.5% आपको shave करना है, right? So today we have a path to get to 10% over the next, say 5 years.
Which is the biggest company in India for this?
There are a few competitors who are bigger than
But
us.
how you?
We are not the biggest, and I will never want to be the biggest.
Agreed, because
I have
you
no
mentioned-
no desire to be the largest. No, I desire to be the finest.
But you're differentiating from that aspect only, or you're trying to differentiate on that because वो भी तो यही गेम खेलना चाह रहे होंगे ना?
So I think everybody is creating their own space. I wish to own the space of family togetherness.
But when you take a villa,
Yeah,
then the
कभी
competition cannot take that villa.
yeah, it's exclusive.
That's
Yeah. Once you've signed up, it's
well,
a
signed
yeah,
up with
yeah,
you,
yeah.
then it's exclusively for
Yeah, yeah. So I think homeowners are also very clever. They also know which operator to gravitate to based on what their
They are-
choices and what kind of a return on investment they're looking at. They calibrate their thought process because we are very clear that we are known for saying no to demand. We are okay to leave demand on the table, money on the table, because we're very clear on the type of audience and the experience that we wish to offer, which is family centric.
What's your marketing strategy then? You don't do too much performance marketing, which maybe a B2C business generally does in India. So is it just
Barely 3% spend out of the whole.
so
top.
it's word of mouth only you play?
Yeah. So it's largely you have to trust the word of mouth and network effect. See, I'm a network, right? Platform.
So I just want you to explain the audience what do you mean by network effect.
So platform जो चीज होता है, यानी you have a one-sided supply side platform and a demand side platform, right? So the network effect comes from both sides. So one is more supply you have, more demand you have, correct? That's one. So then the more demand you have, better supply comes in. So this is a one feeds the other kind of a network effect. Then there are same side network effects, which is supply getting more supply. So, if I am a HNI and I operate in a certain, lifestyle and a circle, and I go to certain golf clubs and I'm a part of certain clubs, you will have conversations around as to who are you partnered with, right? And then they will refer each other's homes and they will actively suggest. That's the same side referral. Guests also work like that. So the moment I've gone, immediately I want to come back and talk about this brilliant experience or a negative experience. And this all travels through WhatsApp. Everything, all the communication is either WhatsApp or office conversations on Monday, Tuesday. What do you do over weekend? Oh, I stayed at a Saffron Stays. So if you come to, say, for example, we've been around in Mumbai and Pune for the last 10 years, right? If you go to an average, office or even a cafe or a club or wherever, how many of you know Saffron Stays? Probably 95% of the hands would go up. How many of you have stayed with us? 60% of the hands would actually go up. That's the power of the network effect on the demand side. However, if you come to NCR, that number would be significantly lower because we are in NCR only in the last 3 years. We have 125 homes, which is a large inventory. But because we were locked in on Maharashtra for the longest time ever, and we never stepped out of that market till because we believe in scaling after you have nailed the model. So we nailed the model. And then once we were comfortable that, okay, now we have contribution margins, CM1, CM2, you know how you're a CA and you pretty much understand this. So when our CM2 started touching a certain number in our mature markets, only then we took the emerging markets. And now the emerging markets have been cross-funded by the mature markets because the CM2 of the the core markets is actually funding the growth. And we hope that at some stage, the emerging markets will start becoming same way as you are looking at international market being a small percentage of your growth, but it gives a halo effect around your brand and gives so that's the other network effect, right? Because if I as a customer have experienced Saffron Stays at Alibag, the first question is if I'm going to Dehradun or if I'm going to Mussoorie, do you have a Saffron Stays? First default is to ask that, right? And eventually it'll be international. If I'm going,
you have plans?
Yeah, of course. I mean, 5 years down the line, we'll not today. That will be emerging markets 5 years later. So wherever the Indian family travels,
Family goes, yeah, comfort factor.
जहाँ जा रहे हो आप, जिस दिन हमारा pan India expansion would be if I come to NCR or Bangalore or Chennai and I ask this question in the same cafe,
And everyone knows about it.
and and they've stayed and they've experienced and they have great things to say. After that, I will start going international. Till then, I will be locked in, zeroed in, and wait for the network effects to kick in on both sides of the
But in this business, do you get fly-by-night operators?
Oh man, this place is flooded with
It is so much.
flooded.
मैं तो
flooded.
ऐसे सोच रहा था आप खुद साइबर में थे तो फ्रॉड्स मेरे माइंड में आया तो लाइक यहाँ पे फ्लाई-बाय-नाइट ऑपरेटर्स
अरे
हैं.
fly by night ही है. I mean, I can't even.
So how
That is the opportunity, because there are fly by night operators and
ट्रस्ट एलिमेंट आ जाता
trust element zero है वहाँ पे. So इंडिया में क्या है ना, इंडिया इज अ लो ट्रस्ट इकोनॉमी.
है.
यहाँ पे 99% प्रीपेड कनेक्शन है, 1% पोस्टपेड कनेक्शन है. याद रखना. सो इसमें इसका
अभी भी इतना है.
हाँ अभी भी ये है ना, है तो
99
हाँ
is to
वो
1?
सब प्रीपेड ही है ना. इंडिया इज प्रीपेड. सो इफ प्रीपेड इज द लार्जेस्ट पार्ट ऑफ द इकोसिस्टम, right, which is why we are a low trust economy. That's a reflection. I mean, it's symptomatic.
That's a big extreme reflection.
Yeah, it's an extreme reflection. So you look at it in my business, it's the same. कोई किसी को ट्रस्ट नहीं करता है, राइट? सो यू नो ग्लोबली वुड यू नेसेसरली हैव अ सिक्योर डिपॉजिट? नो, योर कार्ड इज ब्लॉक्ड. योर कार्ड ब्लॉक का कॉन्सेप्ट ही नहीं है हमारे यहाँ, बिकॉज यू नो आरबीआई डजंट अलाउ इट, बिकॉज यूर अ स्मॉल प्लेयर, फ्रिंज प्लेयर.
Correct.
होटल नहीं है 500 कमरे का. सो समवेयर आई थिंक द we as operators have brought a lot of trust on both sides of the economy. Our real currency that I play in is trust. If trust is vitiated on either side, I'm dead.
Yeah, even once.
So, you know, this is what, you know, biggest learning from the consulting world, and I'm sure you will validate this. You have to be a trusted business advisor. You know, you're meeting a customer first time, पहले दिन से आप धंधा बात करोगे तो वो
कोई नहीं
trust कभी
देगा.
होने. First you build the relationship, there is a zero agenda conversation.
Correct.
And then someday over a period of time when they see you, see this podcast for you is building trust for you in the larger ecosystem, because they're looking at you and saying, भाई इसका दिमाग मस्त चल रहा है, because he's asking such smart questions. Or, you know, so whoever asks smarter the question, better the answer, right? So आप अपना trust build कर रहे हो. I'm also here to build my trust that, you know,
Absolutely.
I'm a thought leader. I'm not just a plain vanilla, suited, booted, traditional hotelier who comes and speaks the fancy English and goes, धंधे की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं, margins की बात कर रहा हूँ, EBITDA की बात कर रहा हूँ, right? So, you know, the homeowner who's watching this, he says, यार इसमें कुछ दम है, you know, ये ख्याल रखेगा मेरा घर का. This guy is not hollow, right? So it's that kind. Trust is the currency that I play in.
But how do you fund this growth? You've been largely unfunded, right?
No, no, no,
Largely.
no, no.
One round you
Ah,
missed.
no, we raised last week also. I'll tell you.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay, sorry. Okay, I was not. So my research is a bit old
No,
there.
no, no, it's not old. It's not old. We have not opened it up.
Open it up.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
we'll-
great.
we'll-
My question was something else.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
question was, what's your moat then? Is it like
At different levels, yeah. I think, you know, there's no moat in this. No, कोई business में कोई moat नहीं रहता है. You know, हमारी मिथ्या है कि हम business में moat है. भाई 6 महीने का advantage है आपके पास. That's
बस.
it. आपके पास 6 महीने से ज़्यादा कोई advantage नहीं है. Temporary monopoly है आपके पास. वो 6 महीने में आप कंसल्टिंग में देखो, आप कोई नया थॉट लीडरशिप लाओ. How we are all smart Indians. How difficult it is to emulate, copy,
मुझे तो
inspire.
कभी लगता है आज के डेट में कोई ब्लू ओशन रहा ही नहीं.
है ही नहीं blue ocean.
मुझे लगता है
क्या
ही
blue
नहीं.
ocean है भाई?
मुझे तो ऐसे समझ नहीं आया. मतलब एटलीस्ट थोड़ी लिमिटेड कैपेबिलिटी वाले हम लोग के पास तो नहीं है, मतलब ब्लू ओशन.
ब्लू ओशन तो होता ही नहीं है. तो ब्लू ओशन आपको कॉन्स्टेंटली आइदर क्रिएट करना है, या तो आपको, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यू नो, व्हेन वी स्टार्टेड, द फैक्ट दैट देयर वर मैनेज्ड विलास वाज अ ब्लू ओशन. कोई नहीं था. टुडे, यू नो, इट्स लाइक अ एंट्री बैरियर तो है नहीं यहाँ पे. हाँ, कोई भी स्टार्ट कर सकता है, बट यहाँ पे बैरियर्स है. सो फर्स्ट इज देयर इज अ स्केल बैरियर्स है. सो यू कैन गेट टू 10, इवन इफ यू आर अ लोन ऑपरेटर, यू कैन रन 10 विलास. यहाँ जाओ, भागते रहो गोवा में, इधर से उधर, पाइक पे, वो करो, मिलेगा आपको पैसा, आपका लाइफस्टाइल भी बन जाएगा. कैश में धंधा करोगे, यू नो, ऑल दैट नॉनसेंस विल हैपन. जीएसटी अवॉइड करते हैं, सब करते हैं, फ्लाई बाय नाइट ऑपरेटर.
करेक्ट.
कैश बन जाता है, खुश हो जाता है, उसका लाइफस्टाइल फंड हो जाता है, वो रुक जाता है. ओके, moment if you have aspirations to become a mainstream operator, then you need to start investing in talent. You need to hire the right people. You need to hire the right technology in place. Technology off the shelf available नहीं है ये space में. तो हमने तो पापड़ बेले ना इतने, you know,
स्केल नहीं है ना, तो ऑफ द शेल्फ होगा.
कोई है ही नहीं. हम लोग ऑफर करेंगे, तो हमारा जो टेक स्टैक है वो इवेंचुअली हम सबको ऑफर करेंगे. भाई आपके 10 विलाज है, हमारे टेक स्टैक पे आ जाओ, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. सो दैट इज एन इवेंचुअल मॉडल. बट to me, I think one thing that has stood out and has been a permanent moat for me is we cater to families. And you look at any hospitality company in this country, yeah, in the world, कौन है hospital families को chase कर रहा है? कोई नहीं chase कर रहा है, हम ही chase कर रहे हैं. And we will continue to remain family centric. People think that it actually excludes
large part
you know,
of
a
the-
large. Okay,
No
that is
problem.
exactly what I want to do. That is my conscious decision of targeting only families. In fact, मैं तो बोलता हूँ, we are a family run business. My team points out and says, never say this. You should say you're a professionally run business. I say, we are a family run business. ये अभी आपके यहाँ जो लेगो है ना, ये थर्ड जनरेशन है, right? All globally large giants are family run business, whether it's Adidas, Puma.
Agreed.
So we are a family run. You are a family run business. You started as a family run business.
Still-
You're a second generation, right? So we are a family run business, running family homes of HNI families of India, inviting aspirational families of the country to have a great experience of coming together as a family. ये मेरा tagline है. ये मेरा moat है. This is my moat. And I will do everything around this. For example, this you will find it extremely funny. अभी हम गेम्स खेलते हैं ना घर किसी हाउस पार्टी में, वो शराड्स है, you keep that screen,
Yeah.
then you do Pictionary. तो हमने अभी क्या किया, हमारा ऐप लास्ट वीक हमने 4 हफ्ते पहले हमने लॉन्च किया, उसमें गेमिंग जोन रखा है. Okay, so that gaming zone is all the games that you can think of. We've started putting in this in the app. Whether you are at a Saffron Stage villa, you're a competitor villa, whether you're sitting at your house party, you are going to play these games. Just open the app, start playing these games. They will give you never have I ever. You want to play the adult version or the younger version, do whatever you want. It's all there. अभी क्यों किया हमने? We did this because we believe in families coming together, friends coming together. अभी ठीक है, ये डिजिटल है, ठीक है, but you're not looking at WhatsApping on the side, right? Or
Or
you're
getting
Instagramming on the side. You're coming together as a. So games is a way of unifying families. So we are true to our purpose. We are true from day zero. In fact, we reject homes and architects who don't believe in this concept. So when we walk into a home first time, we look around and say, where are the centers of gravity in this house? Can multi-generational,
it's like that.
yeah.
So you reject homes as well.
We reject homes by the truckloads. सैफरन कैसे बनता है ना, सैफरन तो आप 1000 फ्लावर्स निकालोगे तो 10 ग्राम मिलेगा ना. तो हमारा इसेंस ही वही है कि भाई 10,000 घर देखो, 500 है हमारे पास आज. The rejection ratio is probably 20:1.
Wow.
Yeah, ruthless reject. In fact, we are known for rejecting homes because we don't believe that the brand philosophy नहीं है, या homeowner हमारे vibe नहीं हो रहा है. होमओनर अलग टेंजेंट पे है, वो अलग कैटेगरी ऑफ ऑडियंस है, वो हमारे ब्रांड में ही नहीं फिट हो रहा है. बिकॉज वो अगर होमओनर कहीं जाएगा और बोलेगा मेरा घर सैफरन स्टेज पे है, दूसरा होमओनर बोलेगा यार नहीं है यार, आई डोंट बिलोंग टू दिस कम्युनिटी, राइट? आई डोंट विश टू गिव माई होम एनी लॉन्गर बिकॉज मैच नहीं हो रहा है. आई एम नॉट बीइंग स्नूटी, आई एम जस्ट बीइंग very, very clear about my positioning.
Yeah.
Very, very, very clear about my positioning that I don't wish to. आप करते रहोगे. I'm 100% sure you have a client acceptance norm, right? You don't accept dodgy clients, poor governance clients, because it reflects on your, right? So I also do the same thing. Client acceptance. हमारी deal committee बैठती है, हर घर के पीछे कि भाई founder, senior leader sit and debate कि भाई is this house fitting into our network, right? Is the homeowner fitting into our network, into our community? Are we doing justice to this home? Right? Kal, if the homeowner says, nahi, room wise becho, and my team says, room wise bechte. In fact, one of my competitors 1 month ago, and one of the senior, huge competitor, like 5-star behemoth, right? They went room wise. 25% of the inventory is room wise.
अच्छा, तो एक विला में अगर 4 रूम
4 रूम है तो 4 रूम बेचते हैं, बिकॉज उनका वो इन्वेंट्री वैसा था, ओल्ड वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज प्लांटेशन स्टेज एंड ऑल, तो उन्होंने वो ब्रेक कर दिया. उनके लिए आइडियल परफेक्ट सोल्यूशन है ये, उनके लिए यही सोल्यूशन है. वी सेड उल्टा. So we had some certain percentage of homes which were being sold room wise. I had literally a fatwa in the organization saying that भाई बंद करो ये सब. Only या तो even if it's a 10 bedroom villa ना, आप 10 bedroom बेचो, बड़े ग्रुप आएंगे आपका. Also it's a little easier to manage. You don't have to have room service. We don't believe in room service. Room service मिलेगा ही नहीं आपको, घर रूम में कुछ मिलेगा ही नहीं है. Why create problems for yourself?
Correct.
We believe in longer tables rather than taller fences. No?
Anyways, your motive is for people to come
Come
together.
together, भाई. Family that eats together stays together. So एक टेबल पे बैठो, साथ में बैठो, community tables रखो, al fresco dining रखो, open air रखो, verandas रखो. So the moat for me, I mean long and short, is families. Families coming together is my moat. बाकी सब वो आपको temporarily 6 महीने का मोट देगा. Technology is a 2-month moat. Right?
And it's reducing by
Yeah. Features on the website, अगले दिन मेरा competitor copy करता है. Best flattery for me is जो मैं वहाँ नाम लिखता हूँ, वो नाम को भी थोड़ा सा आजू बाजू में करके. So I have reconciled. पहले बहुत बुरा लगता था कि यार what is this going on? why is somebody copying me, every day? But now I treat it like a flattery.
Flattery, yeah.
मजा आता है.
But you said you're a family-run business. How's it working with your wife?
Tough. Don't do it. Oh, fun story. We moved into a new office, and she had dibs on the corner office, so she took that corner office. And उसके ऑफिस के कैबिन के मेरे बाजू बीच में ग्लास वॉल है, उसने वहां पे फ्रॉस्टिंग नहीं लगाया. I feel so unnerved. तो मैंने तो बोल दिया भाई यहाँ पे घर पे भी और यहाँ पे भी you're looking at me, नहीं होने वाला. Not happening.
So you raise this fund and now you're profitable and you're planning to grow 10%. So what's the future now? And what's your roadmap for the next 5-10 years? Is it IPO जाऊंगा, बड़ा करूंगा, pressure लाऊंगा? Is that the mode? I'm trying to say there's a very thin line. When
Yeah.
you raise funds,
Yeah.
you also have to achieve a certain growth.
Yeah.
But your business model is very different, right? So
Yeah.
you're contradicting in one way that you're raising funds, but you also want, you say, I want to stay small, nice. आपका पहला point था कि, I want to say niche, I want to not go like have thousands of villas, 10,000s of villas, right? So the first question is a bit contradictory because fundraise will drive that pressure anyways. And then what's the next 5-10 years looking for you?
So even the investors who come to us have clear mindset that this is going to outgrow the Sensex. Sensex तो 15% एवरेज देता है. तो अगर इन्वेस्टर को 30-40 मिल रहा है तो वो खुश है. That is exactly what I'm gunning for. I'm not gunning for. I'm not looking for. हाँ, तो हमने हमारे अभी फर्स्ट इन्वेस्टर्स उनको तो आधा एग्जिट दे दिया. We used this current so that creates traction in the industry that हाँ एग्जिट दे दिया existing.
Yeah, very important.
हाँ, very important. And a multi-bagger exit, right? So वो भी खुश. So the word spreads that, oh wow, okay, I mean these guys are steady. They're rock solid business. Great founders to back. Great, perhaps a great acquisition target someday. When there's a disproportionate value that somebody will place on the enterprise value that we have created 10 years from now or whenever. But we are very real in our thinking that we are in a wealth creation business for the long term for all our stakeholders. All our stakeholders. So I think our first stakeholder is a homeowner. If the homeowner doesn't see monies coming in or asset class generating the right ROCE, they are not going to build new villas. Existing villas ठीक है, नए villas कभी नहीं बनाएंगे अगर उसको रोसे नहीं मिल रहा है.
इतने बन रहे नए villas?
हाँ, अरे you buy today we onboard. See, we will touch 500 homes this month. We onboard, we sign 20 homes a month today, and 15 to 17 get onboarded. That's the run rate at which we are growing, right? So, and this is after rejecting 20s to 1. यानी सोचो क्या है inventory 1, and that too we are not pan India. We are only in some chosen 7 markets. The day we chose to actually start going bigger and bigger, right? This is
a huge business.
Huge business. But I can't grow at a pace where just because there is demand everywhere, you got to
go everywhere.
वो नहीं करना है.
वो नहीं करना. That you clear. And our investors are clear on that.
We have tempered our expectations of our investors, and only those investors are coming in who are clear in their minds that these guys are building a rock solid business, which over a certain period of time, see, success होता है ना, वो overnight success कोई नहीं होता है. Overnight success is a 10-year success or a 20-year success. जो आज multi baggers जो है, उन्होंने 10, 15, 20 साल they've been
patience नहीं है.
Yeah, IPO के time पे Infosys का क्या value था? कुछ भी नहीं था.
Correct.
Right, the value got created.
Correct. Genuine businesses or solid businesses.
वही खड़ा करना है. अगर IPO भी करेंगे, फिर भी इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी कि मैं OFS निकल के निकल जाए. वो तो होने ही नहीं वाला है. वी आर हियर टू स्टे. वी आर हियर टू बिल्ड अ लॉन्ग टर्म बिजनेस, टू बिल्ड. आई मीन वी डिडंट क्विट careers in EY and ICICI for money, right? I mean, money was a huge driver. Of course, it's a driver for everybody. It's a driver for me also. But it's not necessarily the only driver. It's the overall wealth creation and the legacy that we wish to build.
A few quick rapid.
इंडिया से भी मैरियट भी तो निकलना चाहिए हमारे जैसे. तो yeah.
Like I said, I think so. It's time for Indian companies to go global. Absolutely. I really feel.
Yeah, and the soft power
But
of
sick and tired of global companies.
soft power of Indian
आप भी तो EY
hospitality.
से ही हो,
हाँ?
global company.
हाँ.
मैं तो आप भी तो EY से ही हो, global company in India. I was just sick and tired of global companies in
Nange
India.
is going global.
No, I'm saying it's time that Indian companies become
Yeah.
global in the next 20, 30 years.
I agree. We have to have the strength in our knees
Yeah.
and the spine to actually stand up and start saying, you know what, today we'll start, maybe 10 years down the line,
Correct.
we'll be out
Go
there.
slow, yeah.
We'll be a force to reckon
Force to
with.
reckon with.
Yeah,
Some rapid fire questions for you.
of course.
Airbnb or Oyo?
Oyo,
Most overrated destination
Goa,
in India.
Goa.
Most underrated.
Ladakh in winters.
Ladakh in winters. वहाँ पहुंचेंगे कैसे?
समर में पहुंच जाओ रह जाओ ए, अभी तो ऑल वेदर रोड्स तो हो गए
Yeah.
अटल टनल
Single worst piece of advice given to young entrepreneurs these days.
scale is growth and scale equal to startup.
Biggest lie travel influencers tell on Instagram.
Oh, this is better than Maldives. Oh, this is better. Don't go to Bali, come here.
Are most founders building companies today or chasing valuation?
Valuation.
One book to read before you quit your job.
Oh,
So anyone like you read?
0 to 1.
0 to 1.
Hmm.
Okay, last question. Indian hospitality in 2030 will be?
Far more authentic and rooted in Indian culture. I think we have across the board realized that mimicking, copying global standards impresses nobody. Look at China. If you look at the China luxury market, for the longest time they chased the European brands. Today, the Chinese luxury products are Chinese owned, Chinese built, and Chinese rooted in Chinese culture. Yeah, and that's why the global giants of luxury are seeing a complete fall in their valuations and profitability across the board. And look at those stocks, and you will realize where they're going down. And that's exactly what is going to happen in India. That today you will find a wave of uptick in the global luxury brands coming to India over the next 5 years. But post that, you are going to start seeing Indian luxury brands starting. That's what I'm betting on. Indian luxury brands becoming far more rooted, grounded, authentic in our culture. Like I want to go to a Rajasthan and have dal bati churma, lal mas, right? I'm not interested in a
Five stars going.
yeah, वो fake luxury नहीं चाहिए मुझे. वो चाहिए नहीं मुझे.
Authentic
मुझे authentic चाहिए. And people are going to start demanding authentic, sustainable, rooted luxury, right? Atambudi tiles over some Italian marble. Bharat flooring over, some of these fancy stones from wherever.
One last thing. We have something called guest relay. The last guest leaves a question,
Oh, wow.
which I also don't see.
How cool is that?
So, and they don't know who's the next guest. So it's
Wow.
like a... After coming this far in your business, do you ever experience imposter syndrome? How do you overcome it?
All the time, man. Imposter syndrome, is a part of, our so-called middle class upbringing. Because हमें बचपन से वो, we are looking for validation one way or the other. Whether it's your own parents' validation or, your teacher's validation and sometimes spouse's validation and today children's validation. I look for children's validation. Sometimes when they come back and say कि भाई आपका रील तो पॉपुलर हो गया यार, आपका ऐप अभी ट्रैवल ऐप स्टोर पे you're on the leaderboard. I mean, they look at you with आपका ऐप भी है. So yeah, imposter syndrome is all the time. It's something that you have to wake up and deal with every single day.
Great, Devin. Thank you so much for coming here. Really nice to speak to you. Thank you for coming.
Lovely, absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.